Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here. And there's been some pretty big new developments in the Linda Collins Smith murder case. Now, I've been following this since the beginning, since it was brought to my attention, when two state senators were found shot and killed, murdered in separate incidents in a very, very short time frame. And even the mainstream media started to pick up on that. Now, almost immediately, there were rumors that Linda Collins Smith was helping to out some kind of a child trafficking ring. Now, before I went into any of that, I waited to get some kind of confirmation. And Patrick Howley, who is the editor-in-chief, I'm not saying I agree with everything Patrick Howley says, by the way, but Patrick Howley, the editor-in-chief over at Big League Politics, all right, and that's a publication I've heard is a Steve Bannon operation, so I want to get that up out front. But I think they do some good work. Came on my program, and he said absolutely 100% she was talking to parents. She was trying to get this information out there and bring down a child trafficking ring. Now, a website I don't know much about has made new allegations about her husband, who was a judge, and apparently she had filed for divorce for, and his name is Philip Smith. And we're going to go over Philip Smith before we get these new allegations. And I want to really stress that you should watch my interview with Patrick Howley, because it's almost 20 minutes long. We break down a lot of the oddities of the case, including the fact that she was found outside in a blanket. We're going to go over a new news report where it confirms that she seemed not only to be shot, but have several stab wounds as well. So the question is, were they trying to cut up her body? Was it a they? Because her best friend, former staffer and employee, is the one being charged with murder, and they're looking for the death penalty now. So again, before we get into the Phillips Smith new allegations, who Philip Smith is, I think it's really important to go over this video clip. This is pretty new. This is just within the last couple of days. I think this is the 30th or the 31st. Yeah. So here we go.
Morning to you. And that mystery, as you say, Strahan, started with a missing former Arkansas state senator who was then later found murdered. But then her former campaign staffer and a woman she was so close to that they were described like sisters was arrested for the murder. Well, the documents in this case have been sealed until now.
And by the way, they're still pretty sealed. I hear they're very, very redacted. If anybody has those documents, if they find this court docket, I want them to check it out. Now remember, the headline still says shooting death, okay? But we're also going to hear from the person who's being accused of the murder, her fiance, and he's saying she's innocent. That's all I'm going to say about that. I don't know one way or the other. I haven't seen the evidence. There's a lot of claims in this piece, and that's why we're going over it.
Still don't know a motive. Police say they have the killer on camera.
This 48-year-old mother of three is facing the death penalty this morning, accused of killing her one-time friend and boss, former Arkansas State Senator Linda Collins Smith. Becky Lynn O'Donnell was taken to court in shackles Tuesday.
So again, they're looking for the death penalty on this one. And they're going to talk about how she walks by her daughters and mouths, "I love you." I'm not saying this woman's not guilty, not involved. But if the allegations that Howley has made, and again, I believe Howley that he said he spoke to women who were talking to Linda Collins Smith about child trafficking and trying to do something about that. Okay, so let's continue.
Where we got new details about the investigation. Collins Smith was found dead and wrapped in a blanket outside her home on June 4th. And according to a newly released redacted version of the affidavit, Collins Smith was stabbed multiple times and her body was moved from inside the residence to the tarp outside.
So once again, we talked about her being wrapped up. This is something that when the first reports were out there, it looked like a botched job. And obviously, I don't know whether, they tried to stab her inside and that didn't kill her and she fought and then they shot her. And when I say they, was it just her? I don't know whether this was one or two people. But once again, it looks like there was an attempt to try to dispose of the body and it didn't work out one way or another.
Authorities say security footage from inside the former Arkansas senator's home, recorded on the last day she was seen alive, shows O'Donnell removing security cameras from the residence. O'Donnell pleaded not guilty to tampering with evidence and abuse of a corpse, in addition to capital murder.
So let's stop there. You notice that abuse of a corpse thing? So then we're talking about the stabbings, but abuse of a corpse to me, and the fact it was on a tarp, appears that whoever did this tried to cut the body up. That's what it looks like to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but they're talking about stabbings. It's a redacted report. We haven't seen it yet. Again, if anybody has that redacted report, please DM me the link. I really appreciate that.
There's two options for penalty and for punishment, capital murder, and you heard what choice I made.
O'Donnell was in tears as she left the courtroom and mouthed, "I love you" to her daughters, who were seated in the front row. Her fiance, Tim Loggins, who was also in the courtroom Tuesday, told us last month Colin Smith and O'Donnell were like sisters. And
so we're about to get to the fiance, and from this point, I hadn't heard from him. And they don't give a lot of clips of this. Obviously, see this is wrapping up as a piece, but they let him say his piece at least a little bit. And again, I wouldn't know how he would know one way or the other, but here you go.
And that police have made a huge and inexplicable error.
She has been arrested now for capital murder, and you and Becky don't have any idea why?
None whatsoever.
Are you 100% certain that your fiance, Becky, had nothing to do with the murder of Linda Collins?
Yes, I am.
The fact that this isn't a national case, and now they're saying they have her in the home after the fact, taking security cameras out there, I've got to stay up on this. So now, let's get to the husband here, Philip Smith, Linda Collins Smith's husband. 5 facts you need to know, okay? And I thought we would read through this whole thing by Heavy. Heavy does some decent work. And I would say that this is a pretty good piece because it shows how politically connected he is. It shows that Mike Huckabee, who once ran for president, I think it was all the way back in 2008, had that television show on Fox, is the father of the woman who was the press secretary, probably the most successful press secretary for this administration, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. So Philip Smith, the ex-husband of former, now deceased Arkansas lawmaker Linda Collins Smith, is a retired controversial judge who agreed to not serve on the bench anymore. That's right. He got taken out on inappropriate charges. In fact, they go over that here. All right. Oh, yeah, this is the other source. Sorry about that. I just want to go. Where is it? Here it is. He was reprimanded for personal use of the office. This is in February of 2019. Okay. And it was an ugly divorce with his wife. So let's go back here. And Smith had a bitter divorce and testimony, and it led to a reprimand against her husband, reports say. Now, again, these reports have implicated that she says she may have, and this is the new report we'll get to. There's the Huckabee stuff. Okay. Smith is an Army veteran, the judge, and his dad was a Baptist minister. Okay. And let's see, what's the other one? Philip Smith was once allegedly assaulted at a grocery store again, and he worked as a journalist and ran a hotel with his wife. So I don't know what kind of guy he was, whether he was a chameleon or not, but the breaking news, and I don't know, I want to reiterate this. I don't know if this is true. I don't know how great CD Media is, but they're saying that she found CP from foster kids on her ex-husband computer days before she died. And remember, this guy, he was already reprimanded for using computers inappropriately as a judge. I don't know what they found there. They haven't said it was CP. But they say they have several people. And here's the investigation panel found. And you agree that you made improper use of court premises, equipment, and other resources to engage in extrajudicial activities that did not concern the law, the legal system, or the administration of justice. Okay. They also allege in this article that the investigation's been taken over and it's now in the hands of the FBI. I don't know whether it's true or not. This is CD Media, but I do know that child trafficking does exist in this country, and it is something that goes on. and I realize this is an Arkansas case, but I'm just using this as an illustration, that on Wednesday, July 31st, literally less than 2 days ago, it was reported that a 9-year-old boy was trying to be trafficked. He was kidnapped, okay? And he was trying to sell this kid. There's a market for children in the United States, and it's pretty sick. And we have to acknowledge it, and we have to do everything we can to stop it. And when somebody is trying to stop it, like apparently Linda Collins Smith, again, according to Patrick Halley, go watch that interview, Linda Collins Smith, NXIVM and Big League Politics. We need to protect her. And obviously, we were unable to because there was not light shined on this very dark issue. But we should still push forward, because if we're not going to protect our children, what's the point, right? I mean, how sick are these people? That being said, guys, I'm doing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos a day. If you haven't checked me out today, I've already put out, this is the 3rd video, but we did a deep dive into the new FBI document that probably deems you, the viewer, for watching this video, a terrorist. Because we're talking about some high-level corruption here and possible trafficking of children that involves the names of prominent people. Read the document with me. Took a while. Took about an hour. I want to thank Kevin for the super chat. Love your new channel and all your work. You are a bit of a Bernie Sanders. You're a bit off on Bernie Sanders, but love you anyway. Hey, I give Bernie credit where credit is due when it's there. When I don't agree with him, I can't help myself, Kevin, but I appreciate that super chat. So please subscribe if you're new to the channel. We do deep dives on documents. We are literally at the forefront of Epstein, of NXIVM, of Bilderberg, and so much more. Transhumanism, biometrics, the Track Trace Database Society. I've been talking about it for, I don't know, many, many years. Go to my playlist, by the way. And if you go over here, you can check out my documentary films for free as well. Where is my documentary films? They take that one down? I hope not. What's going on here? There they are. Documentary, Shade, Invisible Empire, New World Order Defined. They're all free. Everything here is free. So if you can, I'd appreciate it if you can to donate. I'm not asking you to donate, but if you can, it does help. That's how I'm doing this. That's how I'm doing it 7 days a week. And I'm not a conservative. I'm not a liberal. I don't buy into the bullshit two-party system, the left-right politics that don't exist. We're up against a much larger elitist enemy. The predator class is very real. I promise you that. And if you want to sit here and fight them with me with information that we can share with anybody, because it comes from love. It doesn't come from hate. We're not violent. We're not calling for violence. I'd appreciate the support. That's why we're doing this, $5, $10, $15. It helps me so much. We are on day 16, so we're just over the halfway point, and we're just under half of our goal. But I know with your support, we're going to make it there. I really do appreciate it. And with that being said, guys, I will see you all later on the flip side.